Hey, welcome back. So this is going to be a bit of a push and kind of a chance that there's going to be a trip of a bunch of guys going to a truck stop about an hour drive out, and it's a really cool truck stop. Anyways, if I'm gonna go, I gotta cram some work in after hours. Once I get off work, come home, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of stuff. So the console and everything needs to be put back in. I still got to do that. I've got a bunch of stuff wrote down, a list of checking fluids and all kinds of stuff. And I could probably go on this trip with a bunch of guys with their hot rods and run down the highway to a place called Russell's Truck Stop. It's right on the Texas-New Mexico state line. Anyways, that's where we're at this episode. This could be good. I'm going to cut short on some of the footage of me doing stuff here so that most of this video, hopefully, if they all team up and say, yes, let's go, will be me going down the road and the highway and getting places and seeing other cars and a whole bunch of fun and hopefully no breakdowns. So this car has ran probably 6 miles, probably. So I built the engine from scratch, I've ran it 6 miles, and now I'm gonna get this console back together and work on a few things to button up the car. The hood is gonna stay off, so I'm gonna run about 60, 120 miles maybe with the hood off. Hopefully it doesn't rain. There's a lot of things can go wrong here, guys. So hang on to your seats. We're gonna go for a ride. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, that I get everything done in time that I can make it on this trip. Okay, so here we go. First of all, I'm hitting this interior tonight. All right, so I'm ready to go. I packed up the car, I'm about to get in. I did a ton of things. I even put leaner jets in the carburetor, and I packed the car with all the things I think I might need. I've got one thing that has shown up. The problem is now my car won't go into park. It's weird. I think it's just a linkage adjustment I need to do. It's no problem. I can stop the car. I can put the e-brake on. I can start the car. Everything's working. The shift's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to Gander Mountain first, or Gander Outdoors. And once I get there, if it's still running real good, I might go ahead and venture the rest of the trip. But that's my test. Get to Gander, which is about 8-10 miles away, and then I'll decide whether I'm going the whole 80 miles out to Russell's Truck Stop with the rest of the guys. All right, so I'm gonna try to get some good road footage for you. Here we go, we're getting in the vet and go. Well, guys and girls of Gordon's Garage, here we are. We're at the start of it, but there's a little hiccup. I don't see anybody else. It's not quite time, I'm a bit early, but I'm gonna get out and double check the engine and stuff. I have a few things that I'd like to check out. I'd like to put some power steering fluid in. It's running great with it is, I just need a little bit more, and I just wanna make sure it's good before I take off. And Gander Outdoors changed. They now have a ton of RVs, and I can't find anybody. And I looked all around the parking lot, and the parking lot's teeny tiny now. It used to be a huge parking lot. So maybe they're gonna line up here on the frontage road or something. I'm just gonna sit here in a spot where I can see the intersection down there where the bridge is at, and if anybody passes by, maybe I can see them, or maybe they can see me down here and think, oh, this is where we're parking. So anyways, yeah, I'm waiting for other cars to show up, and then we'll get some road shots. So far, I gassed up and put 14 miles on, coming from the house getting to here, and that's where I'm at. 14 miles so far. Got 80 more to go to get there, and 80 more to get back. It kind of seems like it runs okay when it's on second gear. That speed is real good for the engine. Higher than that, it's just like, I'm really trying, and maybe rattling a bit more than I'd like. Anyways, that's where I'm at, and we'll get on the road, and I'll get some shots of the view going down the highway. there has to be something major wrong right now for me to quit and say I'm going to go back to the house. So still risky. It's 80 miles. Anyways, sitting here in the vet, I packed it full of stuff, and I grabbed just a few snacks, a couple bottles of water for myself, not for the car. All right, yeah, let me go check out the engine. I'll get you some pictures of some other cars maybe if they show up. So this engine only had 20 miles on it, and I decided to take a road trip. What was I thinking? Well, I tell you what I wasn't thinking. I just said I was going to take some pictures of the cars that show up, and I didn't do it. Really nervous. I think everything's going to blow up on this engine, the car. Who knows what's going to happen going down the road. And I had a ton of questions and a lot of worries on my mind. But I'll make it up to you. All right? I'll get some pictures of those cars. Just, you're going to have to hang on tight. All right, so you got to see the road trip there, and I thought I'd tell you, I make good on my promise. I said I'd show you them cars, so here they come. Ready? Hey everybody, I'm here inside Russell's truck stop, and behind me is a bunch of the motorcycles. He's got some cars in there too. I'm going to take y'all in for a tour and probably take some still pictures of what he's got. Anyways, pretty cool. So we made it, got all the way there. Turns out to be 80 miles. And after all said and done, I was burning about 9 miles to the gallon, maybe 10 miles to the gallon on fuel. Still burning a little rich. I'm hoping I can make it back without fouling out the plugs and running on about 6 cylinders, but that's more than likely what's going to happen. Anyways, we got there, we had a great time, we ate lunch, we had some great laughs, a little joke here and there, and I think it's time to head back. Let me show you a few clips of that, and got a little surprise for you. Stay tuned, here it comes. All right, everybody, here we are. We're out here at the Cadillacs. On the way back into Amarillo, we decided we were going to stop by and go see the Cadillacs buried out there in the ground. Anyways, Richard stopped to help me. He's my neighbor. He's the one that helped me put the motor in. It's been a very successful run, not too bad. I'd like a lot of these little bumps and squeaky noises to go away, but hey, it's all within due time. Anyways, let's go out and check out a couple Cadillacs. All right, everybody, I'm out here and we get to see all of them. A couple of those photos, I was trying to capture how thick the paint was in some spots. Hey, so I think this is going to conclude the episode. As you can kind of tell with the picture of the Corvette tucked safely back in the garage here, I made it home. It was successful. Awesome. I really got excited once we got over to the Cadillacs where they were buried out there in the ground. That was when I really realized I can still do it. This is done. This is going all the way home. I didn't blow the motor up. I didn't have a major oil leak. I have a little oil leak, but that's something I need to troubleshoot and figure out. Something about the engine. The engine has a crankcase. It's got oil on the bottom. It gets hot. It expands. It's got to go somewhere. There's a PVC valve on the valve cover there, and it's supposed to let those gases back into the carburetor, burn it, and it goes out the tailpipe. Every once in a while, it would burp or something, and I'd get a puff of smoke out from underneath the oil cap. The oil cap's not supposed to breathe at all, and it would freak me out. Going down the road, smoke's coming. Without the hood on, you don't see any. You see all of it without the hood on. With the hood on, you never know what's happening. So I think it's pretty normal, because I was looking at some of the other guys' cars and they have either a big filter oil cap that's allowing that oil to escape, the fumes to escape, or some of them just better sealed up or have their machine well tuned. But speaking of the Cadillacs, that was the surprise at the end there. I didn't tell you I was going to stop there, and I thought that'd be neat. There's something else. There's a guy that sits out there, and he's got a table on the back of a Suburban, and he sells little charm necklaces. And I don't know if you can see, but he puts in there a little piece of paint that he takes off those Cadillacs. Now the paint has so many layers. When he sands them down, it gives this marble effect. It's really cool little piece of paint that he's put into this little locket. Anyways, he's got keychains and other kind of necklaces and stuff, but I thought I'd pick one of these up since my wife is out of town right now, and when she gets back home, she's got a little gift for her. Let her know I was thinking about her. I always do. Anyways, so this is going to wrap up this episode. Now, don't worry. I didn't get many cars. There wasn't a whole bunch show up because, I mean, let's face it, you're asking people with these classic hot rods to do a road trip in their hot rod. It's really hard for people to do that when they've invested all this money into their car. They don't want to tear it up. Going down that highway, getting rock chips, bug splatters, who knows what's going to go wrong with the car. If you lose an axle, you could tear out a fender. And yes, it's high stress. It's, you know, you got to know how your mechanics work on your vehicle, and you got to know that it's sound and ready to go. Which I didn't. I just took a leap of faith. It happened to work out for me this time. So here's the deal. This is the end of this episode, but I'm starting another one tomorrow, and it's going to be cruise night. Yes, that's right. In Amarillo, Texas, it's cruise night every Saturday. I take that back. The first Saturday of every month, there's a cruise night. It's a big old parking lot. We fill it up full of classic hot rods, and I'm gonna get my phone out there, and if it can hold up, it's getting old, and I know sometimes the camera doesn't get good pictures, but I'm gonna get some pictures of some more cars, and I'm gonna post them right here on Gordon's Garage. So, guys, if you're in the Amarillo area, get to cruise night tomorrow. If you're not, get to your computer. I'm gonna have this up so you can see it, all right? So, for the rest of y'all out there, you know what I'm gonna say. Y'all have a good weekend.